Hi, I'm Sarah Swanell, and welcome to this guided video on filling out Distress Tolerance Worksheet 4A, Paired Muscle Relaxation. This worksheet is part of the DBT Distress Tolerance module and is associated with Distress Tolerance Handout 6B in particular. Paired muscle relaxation is a crisis survival skill. We use crisis survival skills when we can't solve the problem immediately, whether it's because it's not the right time or because we're too emotionally overwhelmed to think clearly. A crisis does not have to be a disaster. A crisis is when you feel intense pressure to solve a problem right away, but acting impulsively could make things worse. This worksheet is designed to help you track your practice of paired muscle relaxation, a technique that helps reduce emotional and physical tension. The worksheet asks you to track your practice both when you're feeling calm and when you're feeling tense or overwhelmed. The idea is to first practice the skill as many times a day as you can until you notice that when you exhale, your body automatically relaxes on its own. You're first trying to pair your breathing out with relaxation. Once you've paired breathing out with relaxation, you can reduce the frequency of your practice. The worksheet, as you can see, is organized into 6 columns that you will complete each time you practice paired muscle relaxation. The columns include column 1, the day that you practiced. Column 2 is the number of times you practiced per day overall, regardless of whether you practiced when feeling tense or overwhelmed, or whether feeling okay. Remember, your goal is to practice as many times as you can a day, regardless of your level of tension. Column 3 asks you to rate your average level of relaxation before and after practicing, using a rating scale of 0, which indicates no relaxation at all, to 100, which indicates complete relaxation. Rate your average level of relaxation both before and after practicing. Column 4 asks you to record the number of times you practiced specifically when feeling tense or overwhelmed. And column 5 asks you to rate your average level of relaxation before and after practicing, specifically when you're feeling tense or overwhelmed. And finally, column 6 asks you to tick which muscles you tensed and relaxed. You have a choice of practicing using individual muscles, groups of muscles, or all muscles at once. And you can tick as many options as you practiced. So let's fill out the worksheet. Let's start by writing today's date in the day column. And I'm going to write March the 8th, 2025. The next step is to write how many times you practiced paired muscle relaxation throughout the day, regardless of how tense or overwhelmed you might have felt. I'm going to write that I practiced it 3 times on that day. Next, we rate our average relaxation level before and after practicing. Before practicing, we rate how tense or relaxed we felt, where 0 is extremely tense and 100 is fully relaxed. And then after practicing, we again rate how relaxed we felt. I'm going to write in here that before practicing, my relaxation level was 40, and afterwards it increased to 75. Now we record how many times we used paired muscle relaxation specifically during a distressing moment rather than just for practice. I'm going to pop in here on this day that I used the skill twice, specifically when I was overwhelmed. Next, we rate our relaxation level before and after using the skill, specifically during distressing moments. So you ask yourself, how tense were you before applying the technique and then after applying the technique? I'm going to write down here that before using the skill, my relaxation was 30 and after it was 65. Whoops. And finally, in terms of just this row, we tick the muscles we worked with during practice. So we tick individual muscles if we tensed and relaxed one muscle at a time, groups if we practice with multiple muscles at once, and all at once if we tensed our entire body at the same time. I'm going to tick groups here because I'm going to say that on this day, I worked with the larger muscle groups, including my arms and my legs, and I didn't do individual muscles, and I also didn't do my whole entire body at once. So here is one day of entry in practicing this skill. You'll notice that the worksheet asks you to track your practice over 6 separate days. After you've completed this entire worksheet, the last 2 steps ask you to describe your experience and make some conclusions about your practice. You can include any conclusions that you noticed, how your body responded to the relaxation, if there were any changes over the time, and any difficulties or questions. And I've written here that I noticed that my shoulders hold a lot of tension and it was difficult to relax them at first. But by my 3rd practice, I've felt a noticeable difference. I'm also going to jot down some conclusions about my practice. In the conclusions, I've written that I'm going to ask my skills group facilitator if there's any tips as to how to tense my entire body at once, as I found this very difficult. So now we have completed the entire worksheet, assuming that we've also completed these other 5 days here. And that is Distress Tolerance Worksheet 4A, Paired Muscle Relaxation. By practicing this skill, you're training your body to relax automatically when you exhale. It's really important to practice this skill regularly to strengthen the response. Over time, it will become more and more effective in lowering tension during stressful moments. Thanks for watching, and don't stop practicing your DBT skills to build your life worth living.